Hi, I'm Kate, also known as the Daily Tarot Girl, and in this video I'm going to tell you all about the Two of Swords. So I'm going to tell you the keywords, the meanings of this card, upright and reversed. I'm going to be diving into the symbols, and I'm going to be giving you some tarot journaling questions as well. So get comfy, settle in, and let's dive into the Two of Swords. So before we do that though, I just want to let you know that I have created a minor arcana cheat sheet for you. So my cheat sheet is free. You can download it below, and it's got all the keywords and the meanings of all the minor arcana cards to help you in your tarot practice. If you enjoy this video, please subscribe to my channel. It would totally make my day. Okay, so Two of Swords. So the Two of Swords is all about the realm of indecision and mental conflict. And this card is kind of what happens when you have to make a choice, but you feel like you don't have all the information that you need to make an informed decision. So you're kind of forced to blindly make a choice, feeling your way forward with your intuition rather than your intellect. So the Two of Swords is from the Suit of Swords, and the Suit of Swords corresponds to the element of air, and it's all about the mental aspect of day-to-day life. So your thoughts, your beliefs, your mind's ability, your intellectual ability, communication, and focus. These are all things within the realm of the Suit of Swords. And because this is the Two of Swords, the number 2 shows up in the Suit of Swords as indecision and choice, kind of like being at a crossroads and having to choose one thing over the other thing, kind of feeling conflicted. Okay, so here are some keywords that will kind of sum up what this card is all about. So dilemma, choice, crossroads, decision or indecision, and inner mental conflict. So let's look at the symbols on this card. So the first symbol that I notice on this card, and I can't remember if I mentioned, but the card that you see on your screen is from the Giant Rider Waite Tarot. The blindfold to me is the most interesting symbol in this card. And the blindfold represents the fact that this person who is in this state of conflict, inner conflict, feels like they can't see things clearly. So it's like you're being forced to make a choice, make a decision, but you can't see things clearly. So you're at this crossroads and you see there's 2 roads going in different directions, but both of them are foggy, so you don't know where they lead. So you're forced to choose with your other senses. So the usual way of gathering information in order to make a decision just isn't available to you. So you are kind of forced to feel your way forward rather than think your way forward. So that's what's so interesting, I think, about the Two of Swords. It's like, yes, it's about making a choice and that mental conflict that is involved in that, but this is also a card of intuition in a way. So think about what happens when you put a blindfold on. You can no longer see, but all of your other senses are enhanced, and you have this different experience of your reality. So this is the most interesting part, I think, of this card is the blindfold. So the other symbol I want to draw your attention to is the crossed arms at the chest. Again, this kind of shows that this may not just be a mental conflict, it could be a conflict of the heart as well. And those crossed arms represent a crossroads and that feeling of just feeling conflicted. And it may be feeling conflicted between, like, your intuition is telling you one thing, but your intellect is maybe telling you another. And the 2 swords pointing in different directions symbolizes kind of 2 different paths or 2 different options or choices available. Now I want you to look at the background of this card. We've got lots of water in the background. Again, water is a symbol of the emotional realm, but the water, like, there's lots of We see dry land as well in the background. We see some kind of mountainscapes and kind of hills in the background, but then we see these partially submerged rocks and things. So the water is sort of partially hiding some of the rocks. So we can't see the whole landscape because of this water. Things are partially submerged. And again, this is a symbol of not having all the information you would like. You don't have a clear picture from which you can then confidently move forward and make decisions. Things are a little murky. Certain things might be clear, but other things are kind of hidden. In a way, this card is kind of like the moon. So yeah, things are kind of hidden. Things are partially submerged. Things aren't really clear. You can't see clearly. You've got the blindfold on and you're just feeling conflicted. That is what the Two of Swords is all about. So if this card shows up in a reading, here is some of the advice and the messages that it has for you. So number one, it's telling you that maybe you're going to need to feel your way forward in this situation instead of think your way forward. So you may need to rely on your intuition and other senses more than you're comfortable with. It's also telling you that you don't have all the information you need to make an informed decision, so you're going to have to rely on your instinct and intuition in this situation. Another message that the Two of Swords might have for you is not to stay in this place of indecision for too long, because it is so mentally and physically taxing. Like if you have ever been in a state of indecision, you know how exhausting it is. It just kind of eats away at you and it takes all of your mental energy. And if you look at the body language or the body position of the person in this card, they're holding these long, heavy swords like this. And if you imagine yourself doing that, like you can't really do that for very long. You can't hold that position for days or even an hour or even 5 minutes maybe. So this card really illustrates that you can't stay in that place, or you shouldn't stay in that place of indecision for too long because it's exhausting. So at some point you have to make a decision. So a couple other messages that this card might have for you is it might be telling you that you're overthinking things. You're overthinking this decision a little too much, and you just need to make a decision to move forward. And if you've ever heard of that saying, like all roads lead back home, or all roads lead to the same place, sometimes we overthink our choices and decisions a little bit too much, and sometimes different choices and decisions will all just kind of bring you back to the same place eventually. There's the scenic route and then there's the more direct route, but ultimately, if all choices kind of end up in the same place, sometimes thinking that will allow you to relax a little bit and not overthink some of your choices. So just to recap, sometimes when the Two of Swords is coming up, it's like, okay, just make a choice already. Just choose something. It's more important to just make the decision rather than fretting about, am I making the right decision or the wrong decision? Sometimes the most important thing is just to make a decision so that you can move forward. And then another thing I want to say about this card is that sometimes you think that the decision is between option A and option B, but there's maybe a third or a fourth option that you haven't considered yet. So just to give you an example, I am always in this Two of Swords mode where I'm feeling indecisive about something. That's my cat Merlene in the background. She agrees with me. She's like, yeah, that's true. You are. So I'm always indecisive about things. And the other day, or a few weeks ago, I put out a post on my Facebook page and I said, I need help deciding what I should create next. Should I offer a 4-week course? Should I offer a 1-day workshop? Or should I create this ebook thing, this workbook planner? And different people weighed in. They're like, you should do this, you should do that. And ultimately, I was so indecisive, and I ended up not doing any of those things. I instead did this fourth thing that I didn't even know was an option. I hadn't even considered it. So I ended up doing something else. But the point is I eventually made a decision. It just wasn't any of the options that I thought I had to choose from. Okay, so I'm going to give you some journaling. Oh no, wait. Oh no, okay. There's way more. I just like went right to the bottom of the page. Okay, every card has an internal meaning or an internal way that a card will show up for you and an external way that this card will show up. So externally, the Two of Swords can represent being presented with a choice or a dilemma. Internally, it's about a wrestling match between your intellect and your intuition when it comes to making a decision. When this card shows up reversed, so when the Two of Swords shows up reversed, it can represent feeling really stuck when it comes to making a decision. So this is one of those cards where the reverse meaning isn't really that different from the upright meaning, it's just more intense. So upright, Two of Swords is about feeling indecisive, having to make a choice, but reversed, it's about like really feeling stuck when it comes to making a decision. It can represent an inability, feeling like you're totally unable to make a choice or make a decision. And it can show that you are perhaps even refusing to step into your power. So you're so frozen with indecision that you're like refusing to step into your power and just make a decision. It can represent not realizing that your power lies in your ability to choose and move forward. So again, it comes back to that idea of sometimes the choice, what you choose, isn't as important as just making a choice and moving forward. So you're not just stuck spinning your wheels. Hey! Okay, so here are your journaling questions. And my cat's just rubbing her face on my camera tripod. She's trying to get my attention. Okay, so journaling question number 1. When in your life have you felt really conflicted about a decision that you had to make? And if you feel like sharing, just share below. So where in your life have you felt conflicted about a decision? How is this card showing up in your life right now? Are you feeling indecisive about something? Are you kind of struggling between your intellect and your intuition? What choice are you being asked to make right now? And we're always making choices. So the Two of Swords can mean some big choice or it can mean something little. And we're making choices and decisions all the time, every single day. We're always having little dilemmas and moments where we have to make a decision. How do you deal with indecision when it comes up? So do you get stuck in that place of indecision? I often do. What helps you make decisions and choices so that you can move forward? So the thing for me that helps me the most when I'm stuck in indecision is to come up with a third option. It's like I can't choose between A and B. There's always a third option. And sometimes there's a fourth or a fifth option as well. When were you last called to use your intuition to make a choice? So when was the last time you were almost kind of forced to use your intuition? Feel free to share with me below. And I hope that you found this video helpful. So thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you thought. Let me know if you found it helpful. Yeah, let me know what you thought. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel. It would totally make my day. So thanks so much for watching and happy tarot reading.